You know the movie Scarface, right? That 1983 classic is an absolute cultural phenomenon, and its ending, it's one of the most definitive, most iconic moments in cinema history. Tony Montana, a mountain of cocaine on his desk, screaming, "Say hello to my little friend," as he goes out in a spectacular blaze of glory. It's final. It's over. Or is it? Today we're going to talk about the 2006 video game that had the guts to ask a wild question. What if Tony actually survived?
So yeah, the whole game is built on this one huge, game-changing idea. The movie, it's a tragedy about the fall of a king. The game, it's about that same king clawing his way back to build a new empire. The movie ends with Tony Montana dying in a hail of gunfire. The game begins with him somehow, miraculously, escaping that same fate. So this isn't a retelling, not at all. It's a what-if sequel that literally rewrites that legendary final scene.
Okay, so you're probably asking, how in the world does he pull that off? Well, after blasting his way out of that mansion massacre, Tony just disappears. He goes into a self-imposed exile for 3 whole months, hiding out in the glades. And he's haunted, haunted by everything he's done, especially by the deaths of his sister Gina and his best friend Manny. So he gets clean, he quits cocaine, and his whole world shrinks down to one single burning purpose: revenge on Alejandro Sosa. He rolls back into Miami with absolutely nothing. Zero. His empire is ashes, all his money is frozen. But hey, this is Tony Montana we're talking about. He hits the streets and starts hustling immediately. He links up with some small-time dealers, scrapes together just enough cash to buy his iconic mansion back. Then he pulls off a heist, nabbing a $50,000 shipment from a rival, gets it laundered, and boom, just like that, he's back in business, ready to take his first slice of the city.
Now this is where his comeback gets really interesting. Taking over Little Havana isn't just a strategic business move for him. While he's making his play, Tony finds out that the guys in charge there, the Diaz brothers, were the ones who put a hit out on his own mother, and that changes everything. Suddenly, this isn't about money or turf anymore. Nope. It's pure, uncut vengeance, and it's what lights the fire for his entire reconquest of Miami.
So that's the setup. An incredible revenge story. But how does it actually play? How do you, the player, step into Tony's shoes and rebuild his world? Well, the game isn't just another shooter. It's about the business of being a kingpin, and it has some seriously clever gameplay systems to make you feel like one.
And this brings us to one of the most brilliant and perfectly named mechanics I've ever seen, the balls meter. See, instead of just rewarding you for quick kills, the game rewards you for playing like Tony. You fill this meter up by yelling at your enemies, shooting them in specific spots to disable them, basically by being the most outrageously arrogant guy in the firefight. It's a genius way to blend Tony's personality right into the core combat. So what happens when you max out that meter? You unleash blind rage. The whole perspective shifts to first person. You become literally invincible. You get infinite ammo, and every single enemy you drop actually heals you. It is the ultimate power trip. It's the video game version of Tony grabbing his little friend and just letting loose on the world. It is pure, unfiltered Montana fury. The game's whole economy is also incredibly smart. You've basically got 2 kinds of cash. Dirty money is what you get right from your deals. It's great, but if you get taken down or busted by the cops, you lose every last cent of it. The only way to protect your earnings is to get to a bank and launder it into clean money. So you're constantly in this high-stakes game of risk management, always asking yourself, do I push my luck for one more deal, or do I play it safe and cash out? And here's something that really separates this game from other open-world crime games, especially from its time. Remember Tony's one rule from the movie? No women, no kids. Well, the game actually takes that seriously. Unlike in something like Grand Theft Auto, you literally cannot kill innocent civilians. It's such a fascinating design choice, and it shows a real commitment to staying true to Tony's own twisted moral code. Now you can imagine creating a sequel to one of the most iconic films of all time. That is a monumental task. The developers over at Radical Entertainment knew they couldn't mess this up. They had to nail every single detail to make this digital comeback feel totally authentic. And believe me, they went all in. Just get a load of this number. The game's script had over 40,000 lines of dialogue. This was no cheap, rushed movie tie-in. This was a full-blown narrative epic, with a scope and an ambition that just dwarfed almost every other game of its kind. But the real stamp of approval, the thing that made it all legit, came from the man himself, Al Pacino. Now, his voice had changed too much over the 20-plus years for him to actually play the part again, but he gave the project his full blessing. He let them use his likeness for the character, and get this, he personally listened to auditions and handpicked the voice actor, Andre Sogliuso, to make sure the performance was a perfect match to the original. That involvement was absolutely everything.
So, with all this ambition, all this incredible attention to detail, how did the game actually do? How was it received? And more importantly, why are we still talking about it so many years later? Let's take a look at the legacy it left behind.
To put it simply, it was a certified hit. The game sold over 2 million copies across the globe, which means it was a huge commercial success, and it got praise from critics. But maybe the most important thing is that it became a true cult classic, beloved by fans who just appreciated how bold and how faithful the whole thing was.
And if you dig into the old reviews, a clear pattern emerges. Critics across the board loved how perfectly the game captured Tony's personality. They praised that innovative blind rage combat and the incredible award-winning sound design. A lot of them even pointed out how it cleverly fixed some of the annoying things found in Grand Theft Auto. Really, the only major complaints were pretty minor. Some of the side missions got a bit repetitive and the graphics were, just okay for the time.
And the success was supposed to keep on rolling. A sequel was actually being planned that would have taken Tony's new empire to Las Vegas. But in a classic tale of corporate shuffling, the franchise rights got sold, the project was quietly canceled, and we were all left just wondering what could have been.
Which brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? The game is this incredible power fantasy that lets you live out the ultimate dream of being Tony Montana and actually winning. But you have to ask, does giving the bad guy a happy ending completely undermine the powerful cautionary message of the film? Is it even Scarface anymore if Tony gets the world and everything in it? That, I think, is something to chew on.